Namaste, friend, and welcome back to the podcast. On this week's episode, I have Laura Erickson with me. She is the owner and founder of Kula Yoga Fest or Festival, which will be occurring in the White Mountains of New Hampshire this July, from July 24th to July 26th. And I will be teaching at this festival. And I thought it would be a great idea to have Laura on to talk about the festival, what is going to happen there over the course of that weekend, and what the offerings are going to be, and why it's so important that we take some time to disconnect and step away from our busy schedules and choose to be intentional about spending time going inward, but doing it in a community of like-minded people. And especially if you are on the spiritual path and you're finding that as you move along the journey, that you would really love to have other people who are on the journey too to talk to and connect with. This is a great way to do that. So do yourself a favor and at least click on the link in the show notes and check out the incredible lineup of teachers and all of the offerings that they will be providing over the weekend, as well as the lodging, because it's being held at a resort, a White Mountain resort, and the lodgings look just so beautiful and so like you just want to take a deep exhale when you look at the pictures and feel your nervous system just completely settle and relax. So really consider joining me there. I would love to see you. We can do some classes together. You can attend my slow flow candlelit yoga session that I will be hosting, as well as a workshop that I'm giving on Dharma. But there's many, many other offerings from amazing teachers. So you will have so much to choose from. Or as Laura says in this episode, maybe you'll just choose to disconnect entirely and spend some time writing in a journal underneath a tree, or taking a hike on one of the trails on the grounds. Laura is offering a special discount code to my listeners. So I will put that in the show notes as well. You get a pretty steep discount using this code. And I think she said it's going to be good until June the 30th. So take advantage of that. And I just want to remind you before we head on to the show that if you're really enjoying this content, if you value the show, if it's helping you in any way, one of the things that you can do to say thank you is to rate and review the show. It really, really helps the show get out to a wider audience. It's kind of like supercharging the show. That's really what it does. It really helps the algorithm decide that this is a show that people really want to hear. And so they push it up in the search. And that's how it works. So if you really enjoy this show and you want to help others to hear the information that we share here, then rate and review. It would be a huge help to me. All right, I hope you enjoy this episode. Check out that link, use the discount code, and please, I would love to meet you there. And if you do it, please make sure you say hi. Please, please come find me and say hello and tell me you're one of my listeners. All right, enjoy the listen, friend. All right, Laura, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Katie. It's
Yes,
wonderful.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited. So, I will be part of a yoga festival that you are putting on in July. That's how we met, is through this opportunity that you gave me to teach at this festival. So I wanted to have you on so that you could talk to my listeners about this festival, how long you've been running it, what goes on there, and what prompted you to begin a yoga festival, and we can go from there.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, so I'm the founder and director of Kula Yoga Fest. It's located in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, and this is our fourth year. But the past 3 years has been in where I live in North Conway, New Hampshire, in the Mount Washington Valley. It's about 3 hours north of Boston. And this year we are changing it up a little bit to be a festival and retreat hybrid. So, a festival, people have been coming for the day and going back and forth, whether they live around here or whether they, came from another area. We've had people come from all over. We have a big contingency from the Boston or Massachusetts area, but they would go back to their hotel or find food on their own. So this year we found a new location, and it's over in the western White Mountains, closer to the Vermont side. It's about 90 minutes from North Conway, and it's at this beautiful historic girls' camp,
Mm.
former girls' camp. It's a place that's just stunning, and I can't wait to share it with everybody. It's called Ogons, and so we changed it to be from the fall. It used to be over the autumn equinox weekend in September, and now it's going to be in the summer because we really wanted to encourage this adult summer camp experience,
Yeah.
where we all get to be there for the whole weekend, and there's no running out and trying to find dinner, or there's no, going back to your hotel. We were always kind of a festival with retreat vibes. People would come back in the next morning, and it was just like, oh, it's small and cozy enough that we're like all recognizing each other from day to day. And so this just expands on that and is evolving that. So that's just a little bit about it.
About
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Um,
I looked. I've been in, and I say this wrong every time. Agance. Am I saying that right?
yeah. Ogons.
Ogans. I say it wrong every time. I was there many years ago, and it is absolutely stunning. And I looked at the pictures of the venue, I literally cannot wait to go. It looks so amazing. And the way you have it set up is really, I think, really great as well, which is that at each kind of hour ish, there's a schedule, but you can attend, there's many different things you can attend. So you can look at what is available in a certain time frame and then choose the thing that speaks to you at that particular moment, which I think is great.
Yeah, the reason I really started a festival was because I would go to summits or festivals and things that um, allowed me to check out a lot of different practitioners. So it's not
Mhm.
just yoga. It would be, I almost like to say it's like TED Talks met Wanderlust and had a baby. And it's like a little bit of, it's like you can get just what you need from it. And so
Yeah.
it's not just a kind of like a one-off high. I saw that recently someone posted something about like chasing spiritual events, and it's another cacao ceremony, and it's another plant medicine thing, and it's another breath work thing, or another sound
Hmm.
bath, like how like getting kind of lost in your healing in that way.
Hmm.
And I was reflecting on that and really recalling like the reason I started this was because I was looking for something. I was looking
Hmm.
for some guidance, some teachers, but I didn't quite know what my thing was. So like the first
Yeah.
thing I went to, I was like, ooh, I could learn more about astrology. Ooh, I could learn more about qigong. I didn't know about that practice. Or like
Yeah.
I did my first yoga nidra at a festival. I did my first sound bath at a festival.
Mhm.
So I know those things are a lot more widely spread now in our yoga communities, but for some, they've never tried stand-up paddleboard yoga or gone for a
Mhm.
mindfulness hike, or had a candlelit slow flow like you're gonna
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So, or a Dharma talk, a Dharma
Yeah.
talk, learn, I want to go to that with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's just, I like to think of it as the opportunity for people to find the the people that are going to have the medicine that they need at that moment.
Yeah.
And then it can really carry on with them after. So it's not like a one-off thing where like, you go to a retreat and then your life is still the same when you leave, kind of like a vacation.
Yeah.
It's not just that. It can be that if that's what you need it to be,
Hmm.
but it also may be a catalyst for something for you to keep working with somebody that you meet there.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really how we curate the lineup,
Yeah.
with practitioners that have offerings that you can continue to find them. You can continue to work
Yeah.
with them, online, one-on-one, go on their retreat, dive a little deeper into something that resonates with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And honestly, I hadn't really quite thought about it in that way. And I think that's really a wonderful opportunity because yeah, I've had teachers, we live in such a digital world, which is fantastic in many ways. It's got its problems, but um, one of the great parts is exactly what you're saying. I have had experiences with great teachers in person, and then that was it. That was the end of the experience. There was no opportunity to continue being in their world. And when you find someone, it's not always easy to find people that you feel you really connect with and their way of teaching or expressing or whatever it is that they do, their special medicine is really right for you. And so I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and you touched on something too with it being like digital, and we're finding a lot of different things we might connect with through podcasts, through social media. And a lot of that time, that means we are plugged in and we're
Mhm.
listening on our walk in nature and we're scrolling when we could be reading a book. And I find this even for myself. That's why, this opportunity to be at this camp out in the nature of the mountains, surrounded by
Yeah.
streams and
Yeah.
waterfalls and fire,
Yeah.
bonfires and the starry night sky, all of
Yeah.
it is in an effort to unplug. I have
Yeah.
noticed the difference in my own mental health of being so connected because I think I have to advertise my thing on social media, and it it's a big distraction from what the
Yes.
real root is of bringing people together and nervous system regulation, and um,
Mhm.
how do we do that these
Yeah.
days without putting ourselves out there on social media? But ultimately,
Yeah.
that's why we need more in-person gatherings. We need to
Yeah.
remember what it feels like to have that teacher right there. Um,
Yeah.
hear their voice in
Mhm.
person, be
Mhm.
surrounded by other people having, um, you know, and we as presenters will hold that space in that container.
Mhm.
It's really
Mhm.
something that we all collectively will hold, um and I'm really encouraging people to get
Mhm.
off of their phones while they're there. We're going to be
Yeah.
in the middle of the woods. We're going to be staying in little
Right.
Adirondack cabins, like
Yeah.
summer camp. And
Right.
besides taking some pictures, there's not going to be a real reason to
Yeah.
grab your phone. And that's going to
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable for a lot of us, probably myself included.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the practice. The part of the practice of connecting inward is turning way down the volume of the noise coming from the outside. And it's nice because when you're describing it, it feels like this little, I mean, it sounds like an oasis, but just kind of this bubble. Like you can put yourself in this bubble for the weekend. And not only are the teachers holding the energy of the space, but the other people that are going to the retreat, to be a part of the retreat, you now enter this little world that only you guys are a part of for this short period of time. And that the energy there can be fantastic of all these people coming together, wanting to be present, out in nature. And really, I think for most people going to things like this, they want to connect. They want to connect with other people in person who enjoy similar things as they do. And I think it just creates this little special space to do that.
Exactly. And I think that happens really organically too when you just create, like, take the invitation, like the people that have already signed up. It's almost like it already began, like it's
Yeah.
already begun because that energy of those collective people that are coming, it's already happening. And then when we
Yeah.
drop in, we arrive there, it's like things will happen that you're just, I think you'll feel a closeness with people,
Mhm.
just kind of innately.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened for me. Just meeting people that you just don't have those opportunities, I don't think, in our society to go on a more than surface level with people. So it's not
Yeah.
sitting down at the dining hall for meals together and
Mhm.
talking about the weather, or
Yeah.
it could be like, this thing just came up for me in that class, and then,
Yeah.
people are talking about some things that they've been carrying around for a long time, and suddenly
Yeah.
they see that, oh, somebody else is grieving this or that, or somebody else is going through this kind of job loss or empty nesting, or
Mhm.
things that really start to help people see that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And people may have come with groups of friends. It's really cute to see, like there are
Mhm.
some groups of um, people that are booking cabins together, but then
Yeah.
also those that are like, I don't have a roommate. I'm coming solo,
Yeah.
and maybe they're getting their own room, or maybe they're like, sign me up to, place me wherever.
Yeah.
And there's, you can do it either, you can do it however you want to do it. So there's
Yeah.
plenty of space where people could, find quiet, so many nooks and crannies. It'll almost seem like nobody's there once we're all like spread out.
Yeah.
You're like, do I have this whole place to myself?
Yeah.
And then, but there's always, like you said, there's something on the schedule at every hour. So if you want to
Yeah.
go to this thing, then there's something organized to go to. But you could
Yeah.
also just use that time to journal. I remember one of the very first festivals I went to, I had, it was the first time I learned about FOMO. I was like, oh, there's
I know.
not FOMO, but then there's JOMO. Do you know about JOMO, Katie?
No, I don't think I do know about JOMO.
JOMO is the joy of missing out.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's awesome.
So fear of missing out,
Yeah.
FOMO, and then the joy of missing out, because you're like, you were saying before we hopped on, you were talking about Viveka, discernment.
Hmm.
You do start to find a cadence as you get
Yeah.
there, and then you're like, oh, I signed up for like all these things. And then you're like, I don't feel like going to that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of you might be a little uncomfortable and be like, oh, am I going to miss something out? But then maybe you wander down the path and find the swimming dock, and you go and you lie
Yeah.
down there. Maybe there's a couple other people you meet, like
Yeah.
open to the possibilities of like what can
Yeah.
happen if you don't go with like the plan that you plan
Right.
for yourself, like
Yeah.
it was so arbitrary, really. It's like it gives people
Yeah.
some guardrails of like, don't worry, you're not just like coming and signing up for nothing, to just hang
Mm.
out for the weekend. But maybe the greatest
Yeah.
thing is those in betweens. I've always found that
Yeah.
with yoga studios. My favorite part is like after class. It's like the in
Yeah.
between. It's like
Yeah.
what happens after, when everyone just
Yeah.
their time, or just coming out of shavasana,
Yeah.
and something's a little open, you have a little conversations that
Yeah.
you weren't going to talk about that before class, or
Right.
you know
Yeah.
when you just bump into somebody at the grocery store. But like after
Yeah.
yoga class, you're primed, your
Yeah.
consciousness is a little elevated, you're a little more open,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
like be able to really, really just maybe emote more, maybe
Hmm.
go a little deeper with people, the walls come down a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a good
That's
time.
so true. Yeah, that is so true. And so just literally just yesterday, I had an experience where I went to yoga as not as the teacher, as a practitioner. And I somebody else was there, another woman, and I had known that her father-in-law was in the hospital the previous week. And so I just said, how's your father-in-law doing? And, in any other moment, a different setting, she probably would have been like, "Oh, he's okay. He's out of the hospital now." I don't know, something short and sweet. It turned into us sitting on the floor and talking for about 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And that is like what happens because yeah, you are more open and these kind of societal standards that we all live by, kind of just fall away in certain settings. And in these retreat type settings, that's exactly what happens. And I want to put a plug in for anybody who's like, well, I would love to go to that, but I don't have anybody to go with me. And I just feel super uncomfortable going by myself. I cannot tell you how many times I have gone to retreats by myself because I don't have like a lot of people around me who are interested in doing that or willing to take the time and the money and all the things. And so I'm like, well, I want to go, so I'm going. And every time I meet people and have incredible conversations. We go so deep. Sometimes they become friends that go on, way past the duration of the retreat. There's just an openness that happens in an environment like that that's magical. Part of it may be that we're not rushing because in our everyday lives, we're rushing to get, this woman that I had this conversation with, she she allowed herself to have the time to actually have that deep conversation. But a lot of times in our everyday lives, it's like, well, I got to pick up my kid or I got to go to the grocery store. I have a meeting. You have a schedule that you really are bound to in many ways. People are depending on you. You have responsibilities, but you enter into this environment where, yes, there's a schedule and you can follow it, but you also have tremendous freedom to say, I'm not going to follow it. I'm just going to follow my heart instead.
Yes, and that's just so beautiful. A couple of things come up for me, like the whole aspect of just slowing down and permission to slow down, and especially at this midlife stage, it's like talk about just getting comfortable in the discomfort of what does that look like. And I did something, yeah, a couple days ago. I was going to pick up my kids at the bus stop, and I saw another mom, and she's been very, very ill for years.
Mm,
And I was like,
mm,
oh my gosh, you're out walking.
yeah.
And I was like, do you want to come sit on my porch and chat? I was like, are you up for that? And she's like, do you mean now? And I said, yes, now.
Yes.
And so I brought her back, and we, just
Yeah.
like you said, you spoke for
Yeah.
hours. If
Yeah.
someone had asked you, Katie, do you have time for a 2.5 hour conversation before that happened? Would you have been like,
Yeah.
oh,
I would
yeah,
have been like, no, I don't know.
schedule,
I have, do you
schedule.
see this list of things I have to do?
I
Yeah.
absolutely don't have time for that. Yeah, we sat there for 3.5 hours and talked. And it was the best day that I had had in so
Yeah.
long. And here, she thought that, oh, she's been sick. She needed this. And I was like, honey, just let me tell you, like, I need
Yes.
that. Like, we both,
Yes.
it was very reciprocal.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think we are starving for this type of connection and we don't even know it because we're very, very busy and we're just thinking about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And we don't actually realize how starving we are for it until it happens in some way. And then we're like, oh, wow. I feel same with this conversation I had yesterday. I was like, yes, there were a bunch of things that didn't get done yesterday because I had that conversation, but I don't care
yeah,
because it filled me up in such a way that nothing else was more important than that. Nothing on my to-do list could have made me feel the way that I felt by just connecting with another human being. It's magic. It's life's magic.
it is. And it's almost like we've been so extracted from that being the purpose and meaning of life, are those connections and time with people. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so crazy to think how far we've gotten, from just enjoying those simple pleasures. I really brought that into my yoga class yesterday. I have a teacher that would always say, um, where are you trying to get to? Like, with, or the saying of like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so true. Yeah.
like, we've got all these plans, we've got all these to-do lists, but discerning again, like what is
Hmm.
actually important. Like the
Yeah.
journey is the destination. It's like it's right here. It's not,
Yeah.
doing all this planning as a planner for
Yeah.
the festival. It's like I have to stop and remember that, like I said in the beginning, it's already happening.
Yeah.
It's already occurring, the reason I love to do it is because I love this process of it. If I didn't love
Yeah.
the process of it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's not just that weekend of the year. It's like everything about
Yeah.
making it come to life, and
Yeah.
I come to life just like being
Yeah.
in it. This is part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That which is amazing. And going back to the idea we were talking about, this digital world we live in, and it has its pros and it has its cons. You know, the, obviously, us living in a digital world is allowing you and I to have this conversation, which I'm so grateful for. It allowed me to find you. That's how I found you through the digital world. Many people are still working from home, which has its benefits to families and schedules and things like that. However, again, I feel like there is a special magic that happens when people are physically present with one another, like in the same physical space. And increasingly, we don't do that as much as we used to.
We don't have as many reasons to leave our homes.
Yeah.
We can have everything delivered to us. We don't have to go
Yes.
shopping. You don't have to go grocery shopping if you don't want to, like you
Right?
can get
Right?
everything you need here. You've
Yeah.
got the whole world on your devices.
Hmm.
And yet, you know, I live on the border of White Mountain National Forest. I have trails right there. That's the world, like that
Yeah.
nature, that
Yeah.
going out there where when I don't, have headphones in and I can just be on this green earth and really be
Yeah.
immersed in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's another aspect of like we're gonna eat really healthy there and just really
Hmm.
remind our bodies, our soma of what it feels like to nourish
Yeah.
ourselves with
Yeah.
good, delicious food in the company of other people. That's
Yes.
part of
Yeah.
the nourishment that we'll
Yeah.
be giving ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that we just have to be more intentional. This is a way, if someone's listening and they're thinking about going, like, I feel like this is a way of you being intentional about choosing to be present, to be in community, to be in a space that allows you to do the things that fill your soul and feel really meaningful. And intentionally, because we do live in a digital world and pros and cons, we have to do that because we're, like you said, we're not forced outside of our little bubble. Many of us work from home. As you said, we can shop online, we can exercise online, we can really do everything online. So it does require some degree of awareness and intentionality to choose to say, this is important to me, and having this kind of interaction with other people and going deep and connecting and being in community, like that's really important to me. And I'm going to make an intentional choice to do that for myself. And who knows what could come out of it.
Yeah, and really yeah, and like you said, like you're choosing yourself again, like it's a summer camp
Yeah.
atmosphere and we'll spend the money, we'll take the time to schedule this all the way back in February for our kiddos if you're in that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
and even if you don't have kids, it's like how often you still have other responsibilities and things like do you take the time to schedule your own play, your own
Yeah.
retreat, your own space for yourself
Yeah.
and I know it takes time, money, and people,
Yeah.
have to move a lot of things to make it
Hmm.
happen, but I've never heard anyone say that they regret that time
Yes.
that they've taken for
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah.
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 It's one thing to go have a massage once in a while, but to, like we said, like really just being there in person, meeting new people. I met my best friend who's going to be there um, at a retreat. So,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, Andrea Baker is one of our presenters, and she'll be doing meditation breath work with me, as well as supporting my Ayurveda, our Ayurveda cooking workshop. And her and I met on a retreat, and we had something had come up around female friendships and best friends, and had anyone ever had a friend breakup? And we both said that we had, and we decided that we were going to be each other's new best friend, and so we are.
And, and so we are. So much begins with a decision, and I'm not kidding about that. I think that's so true. So much just simply begins with deciding. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you ask, a prospective partner out for a date, or, you
right.
know each other, and it was like
Yes.
we had to like look at each other and be like, "Do you want to be my bestie?"
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, it's an
Yeah.
intentional relationship, and we intentionally work on building it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that came from a retreat, so that's the potential.
Yeah, it really is. And I, like I said, I've had so many great experiences meeting so many wonderful people. And like I said, some of them I've carried with me. I didn't just, they were not just, oh, this was a lovely experience together for this weekend. It was, we weren't quite as, will you be my best friend, but we exchanged phone numbers. And then it just was such a natural connection that it was very easy to keep it going and really develop a real friendship.
Yeah, and I've gone to things by myself to have that autonomy. I was like, ooh, I don't want to like feel like I have to go to this or that because they want to go to this or that, or like
Right.
I might want to just, have alone time and be able to
Hmm.
self-reflect. And but out of that, it doesn't mean that it stays that way. You might be there alone, and then that's the opportunity that actually lets you meet
Yes.
more people. Even if
Yeah.
you love your people, they may
Right.
not be, like you said, the people that are going to come to something like this and have the
Yeah.
same. And that's the thing. Like, I think we can have lots of different kinds of friends, relationships, partners, um, and yet our soul still is yearning for some like-mindedness, that
Yeah.
maybe some of the other people in our lives are perfectly great people in our lives, and they don't need
Mhm.
to change, but we may be on this path of of yoga and spirituality that the language may just not translate, and to
Yeah.
take care of yourself, to make sure that you're finding people, teachers, inspiration,
Mhm.
experiences that can nurture that is just,
Yeah.
it's so important. I'm
Yeah.
just so grateful that that I can connect with people like yourself
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is so true that when you are on that path of spirituality and evolution, and you hear this in many different ways from different angles, but basically, you've developed a group of people, a community of people around you when you are at a certain level of consciousness or awareness. And as you walk the spiritual path and kind of your eyes start opening and you start changing, again, those people are probably wonderful, perfect people, and you still love them and you still want them in your life. But as you said, the language may not be translating. And so then you're left feeling a little lonely, like, oh, I'm kind of a little different. I'm a little different from than the rest of my clan.
Yeah.
And that can feel very isolating. And so when you put yourself in a space like this where everyone's doing that work and walking that path and interested in having those conversations, you really can find some of your people that fill a need that maybe some of your other community just can't, for whatever reason. And then the loneliness, it helps with that sense of isolation and loneliness.
Yeah, because I think there's a sense where some people can be in like the spiritual closet and not fully knowing how to like be themselves about what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think of how also in the culture of Western yoga,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I just want to put that out there too, is like, yeah, some of these festivals, events, retreats, and things could be seen as just another like way to get high, like
Mhm. Mhm.
temporarily, like a temporary hit. Um, and this is just so opposite of that in the fact that it's not performative. It's not like yoga wellness culture gone awry. It's really like it's really us helping each other, just stepping into like meeting
Yeah.
each other where we're at.
Yeah.
There's going to be some great teachers there,
Yeah.
but we're not gurus,
Yeah. Mhm.
we end up, you know, just bouncing off each other and
Yeah.
learning and growing through, um, through symbiotically, just kind of like
Yeah.
being a yoga teacher, like, or being a parent, like the student,
Yeah.
the child is actually like, um, teaching us in a way as
Yeah.
well. Whereas we,
Yes. Oh my
uh,
gosh, yes, yes.
yeah,
My children have grown me and challenged me and taught me just as much, if not more, as I have done for them. And I think about it in a way when I'm thinking about what I do and I'm just at home and I'm teaching my yoga studios students or I'm doing my podcast or whatever it is, not chasing a high. What I'm hoping is that somebody has like an unlocking is what I would call it. Like there's a moment where something that they didn't see, they now see. Or they didn't understand, they now understand. There's this more of a deepening, right? Instead of a high, I'm not looking to achieve a high. I'm looking for you to somehow have something that I say or do allow you to unlock for yourself a level of yourself you didn't even know existed. Yeah.
yeah, totally, like little aha moments. And
Yes.
it's just, I call them little miracles when you just, like something just clicks. It's like a little
Yeah.
rewiring. I call it a little miracle, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like neurological, like you're
Yeah.
actually rewiring some things. And yeah, I think all of yoga is remembering the truth of who you are.
Yeah.
And the more you come into coherence with these situations that start to bring your bring you back to yourself. It's like
Hmm.
it's a remembering,
Yeah.
and yeah, we need each
It
other to
is.
be able to do that. We need the
Yeah.
positives, that, like the whether you call it the good or the bad, like none of it really is. It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
opportunities to, like what's in the way is the way, and so
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
you just get to work through these things at,
Yeah.
maybe a new level of consciousness with,
Yeah.
um, yeah, being with
With
others.
other people.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
If someone comes to if you go to a retreat and you walk away with one aha moment, as you said, one thing that you're like, whoa, that is so true. Like that resonates so deeply in my being that I know that as truth. Like that's worth the entire weekend.
yeah. And it may
Yeah.
happen in those moments, or it may be seeds planted, right?
Yes.
And then things
Yeah.
will, may
Hmm.
continue to grow and sprout from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's, um, yeah,
Yeah. Because another thing about this wellness culture, what did you call it? Yoga wellness culture, is
yeah,
sometimes I think the big stuff is really what people think they should be getting out of it. This all of a sudden I'm enlightened, or I have this big revelation, or but I think more often than not, the journey is one tiny little the ability to see a little bit more of your truth in just a cracking of the window. You know, the window doesn't fly open. It
yeah,
it opens 1 millimeter at a time. And those little moments, those little bit of cracking is just as valuable, if not more, than flinging the window wide open. Because I think that when we move along the journey that way, it becomes wisdom.
Yeah.
And I don't think we advertise it's very it's not glamorous. It is not, and the little cracks are not glamorous.
Yeah.
But they're really, really meaningful.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's like what we're tr what we're why we call yoga a practice, right? It's a practice. It's not one moment you're enlightened. It's returning all the, over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's where that can land differently for different people, depending where they're at and depending on their circumstances. They may really relate to breath work and that may be their thing, or maybe it is a
Hmm.
combination. For me, it's just been like a big experiment.
Yeah.
And why I showcase it in this
Yeah.
way of a festival is because all of these things I've tried, I've done them.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then there's pieces where I'm like, no, this is what really resonates for my personal practice. But I
Yeah.
have a lot of respect for whatever other, things there may be. So we'll have
Yeah.
meditation, we'll have stringing your own mala beads to do japa meditation. um, we'll have sound baths and
Yeah.
hypno breath work and power yoga as well as restorative yoga,
Yeah.
yoga nidra. We'll have kirtan and
Hmm.
singing,
Yeah.
bhakti yoga,
Yeah.
mantras, and you could be out on the lake doing some stand-up paddleboard yoga,
Oh, yeah.
um, Ayurveda.
Hmm.
So it could be, one of these things or a
Yeah.
combination of these things that somebody gets home and realizes like, oh, I want to eat from my mind body type now. And like, I have some
Yeah.
new tools. Like, it's like adding to your toolbox.
Yeah.
They may have a new outline for how they're looking at like their dharma with your talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really exciting. I cannot wait. I am so excited for it. And we're kind of coming up on our time. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to make sure that people knew about?
Well, since I just mentioned your Dharma talk, I'm going to flip
Yeah.
the the question on you. Can
All
you
right.
share more about that? About what you're offering?
Yes, yes. So I am offering the slow flow candle lit class. So that would just be a kind of a vinyasa class, but a very slow moving, regulating of the nervous system, long meditation in the beginning, long savasana at the end, some breath work probably in the middle there, and it will all be done by candlelight. So that will be the only thing lighting the space that we're in, which is super soothing and relaxing.
Yeah.
So that'll be lovely, and that'll be done in the evening. So it'll be when if you want to wind down and do something that prepares you for a lovely night's sleep, that will be good. And then I'm giving a workshop on uncovering your dharma. So, for those listening who don't know, I'm talking about your spa dharma, which is your soul's purpose in this lifetime, or your sacred duty to self. Those are two ways you could kind of define it. And it's basically how your soul wants to express itself at any given time in your life. And so we all come here with these gifts and talents and experiences that we've had and personality types, and we have all these factors playing in to how our soul wants to express its purpose. And that expression may change over time, but what is commonly found is that there's a thread that runs through it all. So we may find that we did three different things along the way. But when we look back, we're like, oh, actually, I see this common theme that's running through this. That actually, if I look back into my childhood, I see the theme running all the way back into my childhood. And it's not necessarily your job. I mean, it can be your job. It can be a profession, but it also can be, and often is, expressed in all facets of your life, your parenting, your partnership, your friendships, how you interact with strangers. What every area of your life is impacted by your soul and what your soul came here to express. And so if we, it's not hard in this life to start living out of alignment with our soul, because we get a lot of noise coming from the outside world, and we play a lot of different roles, and each of those roles comes with a narrative about what it is to be that. And we can start forgetting that actually we're none of those things, that we are a soul having this human experience, and that soul came here for a specific purpose. And if we get too entangled in the roles and the narratives and the identities, we get further and further off track from what the soul came here to do. And
Mm.
then we start feeling it. We might not understand why we're feeling it, but we do feel it. So we could feel unfulfilled, we could feel anxious, we could feel bored, we could feel like something is missing, that there's no meaning in our life, that we feel like every day I'm just checking the boxes. I'm, going from one thing to the next, to the next, the next. And yes, I'm taking care of all my responsibilities. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to be doing. And yet there's no magic to life. It just feels black and white. These are a lot of the types of feelings people feel when they have strayed too far off of their unique path that they're here for. And so this workshop will be about taking some time, withdrawing from the outside noise and the roles and the identities and all the things we play, to really tap into the soul and start trying to understand why we came here and what it is we're meant to do and how we can express that in our lives. And for some people, yes, some people make big shifts and they're like, I'm quitting my job and I'm moving, to across the country or out of the country or things like that. But more commonly, just like we were talking about flying the window open or cracking the window open, more commonly, it's a small pivot. They make little pivots in their lives in different areas. And it's enough, right? It's enough to start rotating back towards alignment. And one pivot may lead to eventually another pivot. It's not something that happens all at once. It's this gradual reorienting of our outer lives toward what our inner being is calling from us. So I don't want anybody to say, I can't take that workshop because I cannot blow up in my life. Like I have kids and I have a mortgage and I have, all the things. No, 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 no.
Oh, that's,
Yeah, this is like
that's a good.
micro movements in that direction. And it's amazing how much better life feels when we live that way.
Mm. Yes. Oh, thank you, Katie. I love that.
Yeah,
That's going to be an amazing, amazing workshop. I really
thank
love
you.
that you're coming up to join us and share. Um, yeah.
I am too. I am so excited to be in the presence of all the other practitioners and teachers who are going to be there and learn from them and grow with them. And of course, all the participants. I'm so excited. I mean, literally everyone. I'm so excited.
Yay. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I will put the link to sign up to the festival in the show notes, and any other, we can talk offline, but any other links you want for people to have access to you, I can make sure that those are in the show notes. So everybody go to the show notes, sign up for the festival. We should probably say the dates of the festival. We didn't say that.
Good. July 24th to 26th. It's a
Okay.
Friday to a Sunday. Yeah, or if you're in the local, if you're more local or staying somewhere else locally, there's a day pass for Saturday. So
Okay.
you could also come just for Saturday.
Okay.
Yep. So the
Everybody go click on the link and check out the location. Just look at all the pictures that Laura has up. Your Instagram page too. I'll send them over to your Instagram. It's just stunning. So do yourself a favor, be intentional, carve out the time. You will not regret it, right? I know that there's a quote out there. I'm really bad at remembering who said things. So I always say, I know this is not mine. This is somebody else's. I'm just not sure who it is. But something to the effect, we'll never regret we will only have regrets about the things we didn't do, not the things that we did do. And that's a paraphrase of the quote.
Yeah.
But you will not regret going to this.
Yes.
All
Exactly.
right. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, Katie.